Hello, Cosmic Soul family. Alive here with livzenastrology. Thank you so much for joining. Tonight, we are going to be exploring Uranus in Gemini through the signs. So if you're here live, thank you so much for being here for this cosmic conversation. Uranus, the planet of unexpected change, of planetary evolution, of technology, of forward thinking, of the future is in what? The sign Gemini. Gemini is about the mind, it's how we communicate. It rules the third house in astrology. So it rules things like our brothers and sisters, early education. It rules, our next door neighbors, everyday travels to and fro from our work or wherever we traverse. It also rules commerce because if you look at Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and merc is merchandise, you know, mercantiles, right? How we exchange and operate business. So this is some of the configurations that want to come through, especially since Uranus has a long transit in Gemini for the next 7 years. It will have a retrograde towards the end of the year, and then it'll move forward again in 2026, I believe April of 2026, if I'm not mistaken. So we have this time period to sort of get a glimpse of what Uranus and Gemini could signify and how that could be playing out in your birth chart and what that could be, really pointing to really for the next 7 years. The priestcraft of science has told us that, if you follow some of the science, and again, I don't know exactly where I got this from, but I've heard this in the collective field, that supposedly the body changes cellular structures every 7 years, right? So the body has been completely rejuvenated and reformed, for a 7 year cycle. And the number seven is pretty mystical. We talk about the seven chakra systems, the 7 days of the strong. I don't call it the 7 days of the week because I'm just trying to upgrade the language of how we're speaking. But it really signifies, seven also too in numerology represents the planet Neptune. So it's deeply spiritual. And there is a deep process that happens when Uranus comes along and activates the sign that it's moving through. So, think back to 2018 when Uranus ingressed into Taurus, and Taurus rules the second house, and it's all about what? Our financial systems, our values, our body. Taurus rules our money. What we put our focus on. It's an earth sign, so it's grounding. And so for the last 7 years, it's really Uranus has been coming and shaking up the earth, our body, right? Creating new electrical grids all over the planet because Uranus, it likes change. It comes to change for change's sake. And in Taurus is a fixed earth. It doesn't like change. So now that Uranus is going to be ingressing into Gemini, it is exalted. It likes to be, it's at home, if you will. It's a really good friend of Gemini because Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, which is also a fellow air sign. And Gemini is a fellow air sign as well, which rules the mind, how we think, how we communicate, how we connect. I'm thinking of it's funny, the word when I was processing and integrating and just really reflecting on the energy of Uranus, especially in Gemini, I heard the words master connector, the MC, right? So, when you talk about the MC of a show or the MC of a play, it's the MC of our minds, right? How we connect to the other through communication, through connectivity, groups, organizations, and again, higher mind principles, right? So it's the next octave up of Mercury is Uranus. And so Uranus being in Gemini, again, it's at home in Gemini. So things move pretty quickly. Think about the element of earth and the element of air and how they work together. So we know that air moves quickly. It can be very tornado like, right? And earth is slow, it's grounded, it's stabilizing. So we know that there's been a lot of disruptions on planet Earth, and we're still going through planetary disruptions and energy shifts, especially over the last 7 years. And it's only going to be getting more intense with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, in Cancer, which rules water. So if you're looking on the world stage right now, you're seeing there's a lot of flooding happening globally. Most recently in New Mexico, before that in Texas, and this is here in the United States. And I know there's also been flooding in other countries. China just went through a big flood. And so, you know, there's planetary shifts that are happening that again were initiated. I mean, they've always been happening, but it's been more intensified and more dramatic since 2018 because we're really starting to see, and especially now since, gosh, the beginning with, I was in the Florida hurricanes back last October. So things have not settled down since that, um, shifting period, especially when Uranus was in Taurus at its last anaretic, the 29-degree point. It was very intense. And I haven't looked back to see exactly, what Earth shifts precisely happened that day, but we're still in flux. And now supposedly they're saying that the tides of the ocean have switched gears and have moved to a different direction. So you're thinking of pole shift, right? And with Gemini, it's about polarity. It literally rules Polaris, right? If you think about Polaris and polarity, that's what Gemini signifies. It's both hemispheres of the brain. It's duality. It's not this or that, it's this and that. But when you're navigating polarity, it can seem like it's almost an opposing force or an opposition energy. And that's what Gemini is all about. It's also about how we think, of course, and communicate and everything we talked about with third house matters. But it also really signifies, you know, how we are resolving the apparent polarity within our own operating system. Because again, we have two hemispheres of the brain, the right and the left. And so Gemini is looking to resolve how the left brain and the right brain communicate, how they talk, how they interact, and how they create our experience real time based on how that communication is, how well that the neural processes, the synapses of the brain can really operate. And again, it's not either this or that, it's this and that. And is learning really to unify and bring together that masculine, very linear left brain thinking principle, right? For those of us that were right handed, that were basically forced to write with our right hand, right? To be forced to be masculine dominant. And now there's a balancing coming into play. Uranus, again, is higher mind thinking. It's deep intuition because, if you know an Aquarius or you are an Aquarius yourself, your Aquarians are very deeply intuitive. I would say just as intuitive of the water signs and of certain fire signs, right? Because I think all of us have intuition to varying degrees. But Uranus in Aquarius just has this inner knowing. Without knowing how they know, they just know. So if you look at the terminology in the 11th house when you study astrology, the 11th house is the I know house, right? So, and I can send you a free PDF if you want to go deeper into the astrology, into your own birth chart and learning these concepts about the house systems and the signs that they operate and how they navigate. So I'd love to be able to offer that to you. Again, it's free. Just reach out to me, livezen at Gmail, and I can send that to you. So yeah, let's get into some of the conversation and some of where this is more of a transmission. I'm also going to be doing a card pull for the collective from my herbal astrology oracle deck. I'm really loving this deck, especially while the South Node is in Virgo, which has to do with the body and our health. And while I love studying the astrology and I love tapping into the pattern recognition of what these energy currents could be denoting, I also like to ask, well, how can we use this in a pragmatic, practical way, right? Because what's the point of learning data assimilation? How do we integrate into wisdom, right? And that's also the axis point of Gemini, the opposition, which is Sagittarius. And so Sagittarius just wants to take all this applied data and form it into something that's usable, that can be integrated into deep gnosis, right? That can become your philosophy. This is all Sagittarius matters. So for those of you who are here, thank you so much for being here live. And again, this is being recorded, so you can check this out. And we're going to be going through the signs. We're going to be starting off with Capricorn because that's just where my astrology chart began. And so for those that are Sun, Moon, Rising, in Venus. This is what's going to be denoted for the Uranus and Gemini, where it's going to be transiting in your chart. And we're going to be looking at you, so there's different house systems astrologers like to use, and I feel like a lot of astrologers use the house system that they were taught astrology on because they just got used to using that particular system, most of us anyway. And so I like to use porphyry house system because it deals more with I would say like you know what am I thinking right now, when you take three sections, three of four, it's like it's almost like a grid point, right? So when I'm looking at the house system, guys, I'm going to be looking at, not only the exact house it's going to be in, but I'm going to be looking at the houses surrounding the main configuration. I'm just going to allow whatever wants to come through for each sign to come through. And then we're going to pull a card again from the herbal astrology deck. And we're also going to be pulling a card from my favorite chakra little bag here that my mom gave me that has just, one or two word um, mantras that can again bring more value and more awareness as to what this energy could be bringing you um, individually. And again, this is also a collective read too. So um, and this might not be for everybody, this is a generalized reading, just so you know. So take what resonates, discard the rest. If you follow this channel, you realize we come from the maxim that all is self, so that anything that you perceive that's happening outside of you is really just a direct reflection of something that internally is happening within, because it's all you, it's all me, we are all one. This is the radical unity consciousness this channel promotes and empowers for those that are, again, a vibrational match. So if you're here, thank you again so much for being here. I'm so grateful for this, again, live transmission of Uranus and Gemini. So let's get into it. Let's first of all take a breath. This is going to be a little bit of a longer transmission because, again, we're going to be going through all 12 signs. So if you want to just, if you're here for the live and you're in it to win it, maybe you want to grab a crystal, grab an essential oil. I've made my ashwagandha and brain power tea that I needed because I don't know about you guys. We're just, when this transmission is being filmed, we just came off of a full moon in Capricorn. So there was a lot to be released. And in Capricorn, it's about structure, it's about governing systems. And full moons are always very intense. Again, it can disrupt sleep patterns and because it's bringing things to light. And so that can be uncomfortable. So just really learning to rest when you can, take your time, be in the now, be in your body. So before this transmission, if you want to grab a crystal, I'm surrounded by crystals right now. I couldn't pick which one I wanted, so I've got like a whole slew of them. And again, I've got my tea. So let me take a sip and let's get into Capricorn. You're going to be the first sign today that we're going to be looking at to see what wants to come through, what this next 7-year cycle can signify, the house placements where it's going to be really activating your chart. And again, if you want a free copy of your birth chart, just reach out to me. I would love to be able to offer that. I use the solar fire. I keep saying solar fire. It's not. It's an astrology system. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what it is. I'm having a brain. Geesh. Astral gold. Gosh, gotta see. Sometimes the energy goes so fast, and this is also why it's good to ground before, especially during these times when Uranus is coming to activate the mind, because there's so much happening so quickly that it's really about slowing down so you can integrate these perhaps terabytes of information that are coming through. And we're starting to see things in a new way. We're starting to think, like I think of new neural pathways, right, are being activated and gridded right now within the mind. So during this process, it's really good to be in the body. Again, North Node in Pisces, which is about our spiritual nature, South Node in Virgo, which is about being in the body, being healthy in the body. So these are just some of the configurations on how to integrate this Uranian, terabytes of data, of aha flashes of insight that are coming into the mind, and even bringing in new ways we communicate, new ways that we are talking about our reality, our perception. Our reality timeline is shifting, right? The way we are perceiving things in our mind is shifting dramatically. So the more you can be grounded, again, we are bioelectrical beings. And so, we're just, you talk to any electrician, you have to have a grounding wire. And we've talked about this in the channel. So being very grounded, again, in your body, being very present, maybe doing some breath work, because Gemini also rules the lungs. So breathing is going to be probably, paramount, and really the focus of fresh air quality and how we breathe. Because what I've discovered is that you can actually release DMT in the lungs by doing some form of holotropic breath work that really activates the body, and then it gets you into these altered states of consciousness. So we're going to, over the next 7-year period, really be exploring advancements in technology, of mind think, of how our mind really is a technology, and the power of our thoughts. Again, the priestcraft of science are going to be giving us new language on describing our consciousness and reality, and how this reality is really formed. So be willing, if you follow, again, this channel, to drop what you think you know, to make room for the new information, the new data, the new software update that all of us as a collective are starting to really feel in a big way. So let me take a sip here. Take a breath. Putting my hand on my heart and just really setting the intention for anybody that's ready, that's to receive this transmission, that they may receive it with grace and ease, and that everything that is shared for your best and highest, most vibrationally balanced timeline, not only for yourself, but everybody that's in your life. And may you receive this transmission with love, as it is intended to empower, to ignite, and to stabilize, and to bring you perspective on perhaps what you may be experiencing, so that we can all have a better experience with grace and ease and more wisdom on how to navigate these currents. So that's the intention. Again, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. And let's go ahead and get into the astrology. So again, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Capricorn. Let's look at your chart and see where this Gemini transit is going to be affecting your chart. Let's go ahead and do that and share here. I'm going to be getting into this. All right. So here's the chart here. Again, I'm going to be looking at this is Capricorn on the ascendant, and then we're going to be shifting signs going all the way through each sign here. And if you're curious, I'm using the porphyry house system. So again, I'm looking at quadrants, mostly for example, Capricorn for you, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, that's on the ascendant. Gemini is going to be influencing and impacting your fifth house, but also, again, I look at quadrants. So I would say your fourth, fifth, and sixth house. And fourth house we know is home matters. Fifth house is our creativity, and sixth house is our health. It also rules work and service to others in our daily habits. So for you, Capricorn, this Gemini configuration is going to really come in and be highlighting, especially fifth house, fourth, fifth, and sixth house, family, how you have fun, and your daily routines. So Capricorn, we know that you guys are really hard workers. We know that you're steadfast. Again, you're Earth. You have this interesting configuration where work matters. Your sign rules the 10th house, which is ruled by Capricorn, which likes structure. It's the authority. It's the boss, right? It's the one who's in charge and who's willing to take responsibility. And so this aspect for you, Capricorn, because it's going to be 30, 60, 90, 120, 100, 150 degrees away, which is an opportunity, again, to have more fun in your life, to keep it balanced, because in conjuncts, which is a 150-degree cycle, it's about making room. It's adjustments, right? So you might have to adjust things in your life to make room for more fun. There might be opportunities for, matters of the home, maybe having more fun from home. Again, and this quadrant 2, sixth house, is about our work and service to others and our daily routines. So Capricorn, for you, for this next 7-year cycle, fourth, fifth, and sixth house matters are going to be highlighted for you. So are you looking to get a new home? Are you looking to renovate, do things in your home? Maybe are you looking to, have children? This is fifth house matters as well because it's ruled by Leo, the heart of the child. And so for those of you who are maybe considering wanting to have children, maybe, you're feeling the need to be responsible to grow your family. There's a lot of communication because Gemini is about communication, brothers and sisters. So if you've have any family matters that need addressing during this time period, and again, it's a 7-year cycle. So who we were 7 years ago is not who we are now. The whole body has shifted. It's like regenerated and regrown. It's a whole new cellular structure. So this is a whole new grid point for you, Capricorn, and the ability to see where you need to have more fun. Perhaps everyday routine. This is also too expanding your communication, the way you communicate, how you talk to, perhaps if you are the boss and you do have your own business, because a lot of Capricorns have their own businesses, right? They tend to be the entrepreneurs, Sagittarius as well. So, really looking to say, work doesn't have to be so structured. We can have more fun. We can communicate more. We can play more. We can, your daily routine is incorporate something to do with, I'm even hearing for some of you learning a new language, right? Having more fun in your creative endeavors. Again, perhaps having children, right? Fourth, fifth, and sixth house matters are going to be the focus for you. So if you want, again, that free birth chart, I can give that to you to show you exactly what these house systems mean and how they're going to be enhanced during this time period. And I'm also seeing for you, Capricorns, just ways to, because a lot of Capricorns, depending on where this configuration is in your chart, were old souls that had to grow up really fast and maybe did not get to be children because they had a lot of responsibilities or in early life. You either had to be responsible. Fourth house matters for your family, for your siblings. You were considered like the elder brother or sister that had to babysit a lot, right? So you had to have a lot of early childhood responsibilities. And now that you're older, one of the benefits I've read for Capricorn folks is that they tend to get younger as they get older. It's almost like Benjamin Button type energy, right? Because they had so much responsibility in early childhood that as they get older and they're well established because they worked really hard and they've been very steadfast because Capricorn likes security, financial security, stability, and physical stability, right? Like having a roof over your head and having a certain amount of money in the bank. This is important to Capricorn. So this might be a time period where you get to lighten up and have more fun. You get to be explorative with new interests, new, again, daily habits. And for those of you that are wanting to start children, this would be a great time. This is going to be influenced right now. So again, study the quadrants of the fourth, fifth, and sixth house in astrology, and that's going to point to a little more, you know, correspondence to what you could be experiencing during this time period. And for you, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And for you, Capricorn, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. Again, this is just a light overview. And if you guys want to get deeper into your charts, you can reach out to me. We can go even more specific. This is just a general overview. But I'm going to ask again, what does Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus need to know during this Uranus and Gemini transit? What could be best support you during this transit? What information, what herb, what other signs, aspects could be influencing you right now? So I pulled the card Mucuna, which is number 7. And we just talked about the power of number 7, right? And it's called Journey. So it's ruled by Mercury and Uranus. So here's the card here, Mucuna. And you can see here, it looks like the eye. It looks like, inner knowing. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. And again, Uranus is going to be in Gemini. So see, and this is also too Mercury, which rules Gemini. So this is about the mind and seeing the mind. And I'm seeing too, activating your third eye, really by having fun. I'm seeing also too a pot of gold. So if you're looking for financial stability and really getting structured on your finance, Mucuna is also the 1 and the 6 is 7, which is spiritual. So perhaps beginning that spiritual based business that's going to bring structure and foundation. It's also going to help you activate your third eye and bring more awareness to your mind. And again, it's the quadrants it's going to be focusing on as your fourth, fifth, and sixth houses. So you might want to research that, check out what those house systems mean. And the word for this is journey. So when you might be asked to do more traveling, because Gemini is also about travel, and would be a long distance travel. I would even see like extra interstellar travel, right? Because Jupiter would be your long distance travel, which would be opposite of Gemini, which is short distance travel. But Uranus is about traveling outside the mind, right? I'm even seeing for some of you taking out of body experience classes, right? OBDs. So, there's a really great podcaster or a creator called Darius Wright, and maybe you can check him out because he teaches you how to get out of the body and having these out of body experiences. So, for you, Capricorn, who likes to be in the body and who likes to be grounded and who likes to be stable and here on the earth in the material realm, this might be an invitation for you to have more fun and explore in the dream state to get out of body, to have more fun in the astral realm, right? To allow yourself to explore and experience something different. Again, higher mind, Uranus and Gemini, it's about activating those aspects of us, that third eye principle, so that you can see clearly, right? We have duality here, Gemini too, because Gemini rules two on the body, everything is two. But this is activating your third eye. So, out of body experiences, maybe taking some courses, maybe setting the intention, doing a meditation for that could really bring you, it could be a lot of fun for you. Because again, Capricorn likes to be grounded and in the body. So, this might be exploring another octave, which might make you push past your comfort zone, but that's okay. We're here to do things different. This is Uranus. We are meant to be inventive and to be unique with our experience. So Capricorn, it's time to shake you out of the mundane and shake you out of your normal structure and get you into the higher mind. So this is some of the ways you can navigate that, Capricorn. So I hope this serves you. All right, so let's get on now to the next. Let's screen share and get to, here we go, screen. We're going to be getting now into moving here. Excuse me. So I changed the sign here. So the ascendant changes every 2 hours, guys. All you have to do is change the time there, and it's going to be calculating. Now we're going to be going into Aquarius. So this is Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in Aquarius. And you can see that the moon is actually in Aquarius today. It's conjunct Pluto. And so for you, Aquarius, you can see it's actually going to be trining your energy, because trines are when the sign is in each sign, is the same element. So Aquarius is the same element as air, of Gemini, and of Libra. So you can see that this quadrant, Aquarius, that again, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus is going to be aspecting your third, fourth, and fifth houses. So this is your communication house, third house, which was ruled by Gemini. You can see that Uranus is there in Gemini, changing what thought patterns, how you think, how you're perceiving reality. Sorry, guys, I'm getting really hot just reading this transmission. I always get super hot when I do these lives. So pardon me, I'm like, whew, sweating. But so that's telling me too that this energy is coming online as I'm talking about Aquarius, that there are terabytes of information coming to you, Aquarius, and to really be stable, because Aquarius does rule the higher mind. It is ruled by Uranus. So there's this beautiful flow happening, possibilities of, again, seeing things differently, maybe seeing things differently in the home. Gemini also rules two. So this might be for some of you, not for everybody. This is just use your discernment. But for some of you might be getting a second home. So you might be traveling more, right? Looking to explore your home matters, because Gemini rules two. And fifth house is also having more fun. So using the higher mind in a very creative way, again, maybe exploring and cultivating deeper meditative practices, really tuning into the power of sound, vibration, frequency, because this is all, again, Aquarius matters. This all has to do with Uranus, because we're starting to see that we really are, you know, bioelectrical magnetic beings, and everything is about vibration, sound, and frequency. So, for some of you, you might even want to consider learning some sort of sound therapy, right? Maybe taking more sound bowls, singing bowls, working with tuning forks, really harnessing with the energy of vibration and sound, because that's creating new cymatical patterns where in your neural pathways. And for you, Uranus, Aquarius is fixed air. And so fixed air means you might have fixed thoughts about what the family, about real children, fun, pleasure, again, wanting a second home. So being willing to because Uranus is going to come and shake up the foundation. It's going to come and shake up those fixed thoughts that have kept you bound or kept you in a certain frequency. And again, we're all getting upgraded into this frequency of this planetary energy right now. So where are you being upgraded? Well, you can see it's in the mind. Literally, it's how you're thinking, it's your perception operating system. How you're perceiving your reality is shape shifting big time right now. So if you can learn some sort of, again, frequency medicine, because medicine sound is going to be the medicine in the future. And for some of you, start playing. Maybe I'm even seeing for some of you learning to DJ, right? Using music in a new way, maybe writing your own music. Maybe if you don't know music or sound, maybe taking classes and studying, because Gemini likes to learn. So this could be a deeply learning time for you on how to utilize the power of sound, vibration, and frequency to shapeshift your neural pathways of some of maybe the fixed thought form patterns that you've been experiencing that you're ready to let go of, that you're ready to shapeshift out of, so you can have more fun. Not be so serious, right? Again, this responsibility, and you also tend to work with groups too. So then you might be having some sound bowl journeys, or people that do sound bowl journeys in your home, even, right? Again, this is not for everybody. This is a general reading, but this is some of the energy that wants to come through for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I'm going to stop share there. And we're going to be pulling a card for Aquarius. So again, if you guys are here, thank you so much. Aquarius, this is a card pull from, again, the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck. And let's see what card, please, one card for Aquarius that will support Aquarius as they are learning to navigate this Uranus and Gemini. So this is Jurgon Sasha, number 22, Transfiguration. And you can see here, it almost looks like the Tower card in the Tarot, and it's represented by Mars. It's the symbol for Mars and Pluto. And so Mars and Pluto, those are rulerships of Scorpio. And again, Transfiguration 22 is 4. Well, first of all, 22 is a master number. But when you break it, if you do decide to add them together, because it depends on how you work with your numerology, but the master is really about foundation, learning to let things alchemize, transfigure, turning lead into gold. And you can see here the tower, there's something that needs to move away. And we were seeing in your chart too, fourth house matters. So again, there might be changes and shifts in the home. I'm even for seeing some of you that you want even a new way your home is built. So we had talked about this in the channel, right? Geoships, like dome homes, right? Because it's all about vibration and frequency and harmonizing your own field of energy, because we're so sensitive to frequencies right now. So you might be greeting your home and saying, you know what, I need to add some, EMF blockers, right? Or I need to maybe shift the way my house is even situated, because I'm so sensitive to the energy that I need to make sure that my frequency is stabilized constantly. I'm seeing for some of you too, and for all of us, this might be great to work with grounding sheets. Grounding sheets are really good when you're sleeping, to keep your body balanced and harmonized, because there's so many frequencies coming through, and you're going to be changed a lot for this next 7 years. There's, again, a whole new cycle happening, and Mars is going to be influencing Pluto, taking action on changing. So Aquarius, you don't mind changing, because you actually are the harbingers of change, right? Your ruling planet's Aquarius, which is all about change. So this can be a really important and pivotal time period for you. Again, stabilize, and get those grounding sheets, right? Allow yourself to be grounded as much as possible, because you're shifting gears pretty quickly and pretty in a very dramatic way. Again, fixed mind is changing. So what are you changing into? And again, look at your study third, fourth, and fifth house matters, and to give you a little more insight, Aquarius, onto what that could mean for you. Okay. So let me take a break here, take a little sacred pause as before we get into Venus for Pisces. Gemini is going to be transiting, or the quadrant is going to be more of your second, third, and fourth house. So this bottom quadrant here, which is more of an internal house. Third house, again, is about the mind. Second house is about your finances, your values. Fourth house is about the home. So Gemini is going to come up. And again, for some of you, you might be going to a second home. You might be moving. You might be also too invited to have more explorations with your neighbors, brothers, and sisters. There, I'm seeing too for you, Pisces, especially since it's going to be squaring your energy. Squares usually denote that something has to shift or change. So, what's going to be shifting and changing for you? Well, second house is about values, how you value yourself, how you see yourself. Mercury is the mind, and so this is an opportunity for you because you're a mutable sign, mutable water, and Jupiter in Cancer is going to be trining your energy at least for the next year or so. So this is the focus too on really developing a sense of self-worth, Pisces, and really trusting your intuitive nature. Gemini can be a little bit of a confusion energy because it does rule the mind, and Pisces, sometimes the disagreeable aspects of Pisces can sometimes not have boundaries with what their family, their siblings, with our next door neighbors. So just be really mindful, especially if you're looking to move, because of that. The quadrant that it's going to be activating is the second, third, and fourth house. So make sure that you move to a neighborhood that feels good, that you feel supported, that you can feel nurtured, and that you can expand. It's also too stabilizing new ways of education. I'm thinking early education. So for some of you, you might want to consider teaching, right? You might be thinking about education matters, maybe teaching from the home, right? Because you value education, you value knowledge and sharing wisdom, Pisces, because Pisces again is deeply mystical. So you might have a lot of things to share with your community, and this might be starting some sort of home meditation group, right? Or again, learning something new within the home, because something's going to have to shift for you, Pisces. Again, squares usually denote where something needs to shift and change. And so what's going to be changing? Thought patterns about siblings, about your neighbors, about your neighborhood, about children. Again, this is early education. So for those of you that are educators that really want to share your gifts, I'm even seeing too, maybe teaching spiritual gifts, teaching spirituality from your home. Third house also has to do with media, right? So again, maybe sharing stuff online and working with children could be the focus of the next 7 years. And again, it's not going to apply to everybody, but this can definitely signify for you, Pisces, what I'm picking up, especially in the field for you, knowing that you're worthy, that what you have to teach and what you have to share, even if it is intuitive, even if it is psychic awareness. I'm even seeing some of you teaching psychic classes, right? How to develop psychic abilities, because you tend to be very again in tune innately. You come in with a knowing, because Pisces doesn't necessarily have boundaries. You can tune into the whole collective energy field and know what's going on. But it's learning also to stabilize and setting up some boundaries, because it's going to be in the mind. It could cause a lot of confusion energy. What's mine? What's theirs? You're being given flashes of insight and aha awareness, but make sure again you're grounded with it, because it can cause instability, especially if you're given information that will activate your cognitive dissonance about what you thought you knew. And so don't go looking to escape the new information or the new data. Stick with it. Be strong. Be in your heart as much as you can, and stabilize your thought forms as much as you can. And I'm even seeing for some of you, Pisces, tapping, working with, essential oils, working with natural medicines can help stabilize as all these awarenesses are coming through your third house and what you're perceiving. Stay stable with it and learn boundaries, because again, terabytes, Uranus is flashes of insight that come in super quick. So learning how to ground in your body and stabilize this information can help you really be like at the transmitter, right? You can translate and transmit all these psychic awareness, And to who? Your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, your siblings, your friends, and even children, right? You can teach children. I'm thinking of the telepathy tapes. Maybe some of you might be even activated to have your telepathy come online. A lot of us are telepathic by nature anyway, but that operating system has been dimmed or turned off because, again, our structures and just what we've been putting in our bodies and our surrounding environment. So this might be really be activating for you, Pisces. So be willing to, again, set some boundaries, do some practices to help you learn how to manage all these psychic imprints that are coming online for you. And let's go ahead and stop sharing. Again, this is a card pool for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What does Pisces need to know right now with this ingress of Uranus into Gemini? What can best supports Pisces right now? And what do you need? What herb could best support you? Let's see. We need one card, please. Thank you so much. Okay. So funny. We talked about there are no accidents. 33 Arnica, teacher. And this is Saturn. So Saturn is going to be in Aries, which is going to be right next to your sign, right? It's going to be what's that called? Semi-sextiling. So again, an opportunity for you to share your gifts, to share your psychic gifts to who? Children, to brothers and sisters, to your neighbors, to your friends, people that you're really tapped into on the daily. And you can see here that she's sharing her oils, she's doing some muddling, she's working with herbs. So Pisces, if you are an artist or you are a creative, you see the wolf here too. Wolf is teacher medicine. It's also too speaking. You can see howling. For some of you might even want to learn to sing, right? And for some of you, I'm even seeing too, besides telepathy coming back on, there might be some light language that might be coming on because the number 33, again, is a master number. And 3 is about communication. So, communicating in a new, unique way. I'm even seeing some of you too, maybe going out and singing in nature, singing to nature, right? Just really being playful and being in the mind in a new way, allowing yourself to see things in a new way, to express in a new way, and to maybe teach what you know, right? Because you have a lot of value, Pisces. You came in with a lot of innate psychic gifts. And so it's time to share these gifts. And so for the next 7 years, you might be really drawn to deep metaphysical studies. And again, sharing your own innate knowledge and wisdom that just you were born with. Because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and they come into this incarnation, which is an inner knowing, right? So yeah, Pisces, I feel complete in that transmission. Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna do a one card pool, but I forgot to do it for the other signs, so I might go back and do that. I might do an additional added on for the one chakra side. I forgot that. Sorry, guys, but we'll just work with the one card pool right now, and then we can go on further on. And again, it's going to be ingressed into Gemini for 7 years, so we have more time to explore this. But this is just what I wanted to get out for my, fellow zodiac signs that are wanting to know where and how this configuration could be affecting them. So thank you so much for being here. Give myself some grace. So let's go to the next sign here as we are exploring the astrology with Uranus and Gemini. And let's go ahead and change signs now here. So we're at 10:51, 11, 12, 1. So let's edit that and see if we. Okay, so 11:51 p.m. We got to keep going with this and maybe change it to the AM for the next one. Okay, so Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus and Aries. This is going to be sextiling. Uranus and Gemini is going to be sextiling your energy. It's going to be navigating through your third house. So I would even say the quadrant between your first, second, and third house. And again, you can see too, with Aries rising, Gemini likes to be in its own third house placement there. So again, knowing your value, we've also got Chiron and Aries. This is knowing your self-worth, knowing you are worthy to be seen, that your thoughts matter, that your communication style is going to be very vibrant. You're going to be initiating possibly some new, again, education, learning something new, something that really impassions you, that emboldens you. You've got Saturn there next to Neptune. So this is also a possibility of learning something spiritual based studies. Saturn's going to give you structure. It's going to give you a foundation to learn something new about what yourself, and then be able to share that. The first house is I am, the I am presence. So Aries, this is going to be a really pivotal, beautiful time for you because sextiles are opportunities for you to meet new people, more like-hearted folks who are more in alignment with what you are creating. You're being initiated to create something of structure of long term because Saturn's involved. So really, maybe this for you, Aries, in particular, to do a meditation and to really focus in on what do you want to see, your future self, meet your future self 7 years from now. What is your future self doing in 7 years? What have you set structure to foundation that might be spiritually based or at least incorporating your spiritual practices? Because Neptune's there. Because it can bring a lot of healing. Again, Chiron and Aries is about the wounds of the child. And so Gemini is going to help you even rethink. I'm even seeing to you, for you guys, what's coming in is going in and doing some ancestral healing, maybe doing some root chakra work, things that you learned in early childhood that have been lingering into your unconscious, that's been keeping you stagnant or feeling insecure or not worthy, right? And so this is an opportunity to learn how to manage your mind and your will and taking action on not only connecting to your mind in a new way, but connecting to your ancestry, connecting to your thought form patterns, how you've been thinking. The focus is, what we think about, we bring about. And for you, Aries, I'm seeing more focus, being really able to harness the mind and the will and take action on what it is for long-term creations you want to create. So again, first, second, third house matters, has to do with yourself, maybe initiating some sort of new workout program. Second house is value, how you value your body, how you value your financial stability. So these are matters that you're going to be focused on. And maybe for some of you, I'm even saying if you're looking to becoming like a personal trainer or learning to do something in the physical that you can teach other people to, third house, that will bring you money and value because you've also got Taurus that rules the second house. So learning to value your body in a new way and teach some new techniques. Again, if you're an athlete and you're starting, like, say, weight training, for example, then you might want to become a trainer, right? So, and then teach what you know on that. So Uranus is going to be, again, shifting how you perceive yourself, how you value yourself, and how you communicate your needs and your values to other people. Because Gemini, again, rules siblings. So if you've been at odds with, this might not be for everybody, but if you've been at odds with any of your brothers and sisters or your family, and maybe had some injury in early education or early childhood, this could really be with Neptune there, using the medicine of forgiveness and really learning to be in your spiritual practices, move the body. I'm even seeing for some of you somatic healing practices, right? So that you can really step into self-love and self-nurturance in a new way. This is going to really be activating you. So for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, again, the quadrant you want to look at for your own house placements is your first, second, and third house, if that's something you want to explore and go deeper into, right? Okay, so for my Aries, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you. What do you need to know? What herb can support you? What other astrological placements are going to be affecting you for the 7-year time period while Uranus is in, whoop, that popped right out. Geez. Primordial life force energy. So with that, the way that happened, I'm seeing too, is to take action on inspired ideas. When you get inspired and something just pops into your field, just like this card popped out, go take action on it, because you're being, again, there's sextile happening with your energy. So you're being given a lot of opportunity to regrid how you think, and a lot of healing about yourself, how you perceive yourself, money, worth, value. And again, if you're learning to be an athlete, maybe you can teach what you're learning to other people, because that can also bring value to you as well. So the card that came through was Mitatron. My gosh. Matragynia. Mitragynia. Number 34, shapeshifting. And it has to do with Saturn and Neptune. So I'm going to show you the card here. Maybe you guys can pronounce it. If you guys are here in the chat, maybe you can put the pronunciation in the comment. I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is also called kratom, right? So kratom, we know, is derived from a caffeine plant or a caffeine tree. So it brings a lot of, again, action. Think of like caffeine. It initiates, it gives you power and strength and energy, right? And you can also see too that there's a root system here happening and a butterfly or a dragonfly rather, so transformation. Again, I'm seeing the body, how she's moving the body in certain ways. So we talked about, maybe doing a workout routine, learning to be in your body in a new way, somatic healing so that you can deeply transform. Again, Saturn is there, so it's structure, and Neptune is about our spirituality. And we know that we've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your sign right now. And the term here is shape shifting. So literally, you could be shape shifting your body. For some of you that maybe been carrying excess weight, or you're looking to shift your body, maybe having a new body talk. I heard some of it, not for everybody, but healing body dysmorphia, whatever that might be for you, how you perceive yourself has been distorted. And so taking action and standing into your power, initiating new ways of being in the body can bring a lot of healing in how you perceive yourself, Aries. So you are worthy to be loved. You are worthy for exactly as you are. But this next 7-year period can denote a huge transformation time because, again, we got that dragonfly, and dragon is also fire, right? So it's like fire medicine. It's taking this transformative energy, and literally you might be shape shifting your physical vessel. And so, yeah, I feel complete with that transmission. So let me just take a moment here, take my glasses off. How you guys doing? You guys hanging in there? We're getting ready to go into Taurus next, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If we can get there with the charts. Again, Mercury retrograde has got my chart configuration. The last time I did this, it went right through, no problem. But, we're in flow and we're going for it right now. So let me just, I love glasses. It's funny, before when I was a kid, I used to actually wear fake glasses because I wanted to look studious. And now that I have to wear glasses, it's so annoying. So it's just kind of funny how we change over time, right? Oh my gosh. All right. So let's go ahead and screen share and let's get to the next sign. Let's see if we can get to the next sign with grace and ease. Please, Spirit. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to be moving into Taurus next. So let's get us into Taurus again, editing the chart. Moving, I believe, okay, let's try 12 and see if it goes to Taurus that way. And why does it want to keep going to Libra? All right, I don't understand why that's doing that. Let's try this. No, yeah, it's doing the opposite. So let's go. Let's see if we can do PM or AM rather. Sacred pause. Yay, we did it. All right. Taurus on the ascendant, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in Taurus. So you can see here that Gemini is going to be what's called semi-squaring your energy. So again, it's going to be also affecting your first, second, and 12th house, right? 12th, first, and second. So we know 12th house is ruled by Pisces, which is our spiritual house. Its first house is also the sense of self, and second house is value. So you're going to be really invited, Taurus, to explore, new ways of doing money is what I'm seeing. So if you're looking into maybe going into crypto, or I'm even hearing for some of you, learning trusts or banking systems or a new way to harness money. Again, Gemini is all about education, and Uranus has to do with groups, organizations. So you might be really called, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, to work with your money in a new way. And this has to do with deep sense of value, how you see your self-worth. Again, this is also, if you have Aries placements, you also want to see that's part of that dance flow for you, Taurus, is really learning to love yourself and healing the wounds of the child, perhaps how you were taught to see yourself. Again, body dysmorphia, learning to shape shift your vessel, learning to see your body in a new way, and again, learning money systems. So we know that this financial market right now, everybody's going through a deep transformation in money systems, but you in particular, Taurus, the focus over the next 7 years is strategize and have a solid plan foundation for the next 7-year cycle for you. So where do you want to be financially for the next 7 years, Taurus? Let's really get focused, maybe start learning a new skill. Again, I'm seeing for some of you learning about trust, learning about banking, maybe becoming your own bank, for some of you. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you're working with crypto, there's lots of different ways to learn that. So really educating yourself on financial matters and knowing too that this 12th house, you're going to be actually getting psychic gifts and psychic compressions that are coming through. Trust your intuition. I'm even seeing to you, some of you might have like a lucky transit because you're tuning into, again, meditation. You're learning to harness the power of the mind through perhaps meditating, through learning meditation techniques, maybe shifting some unconscious behaviors, because 12th house rules the unconscious, so that you can really see. I'm hearing too, changing financial lineage for some of you. If you were born into poverty consciousness, or you've had these thoughts about money, that I can only earn money a certain way, or I can only generate a money a certain way, then this is an invitation to say, you know what, it's time to work smarter, not harder. And money can come to you with grace and ease if you decide to again, learn new monetary systems. And also too, because, it's tied into, second house's value. I'm even seeing too, because it's an earth sign, maybe to learn to grow, learn to value your resources. So for some of you, it might be building your own home, right? Or building a garden, or doing something where you can share your resources with your neighbors, your siblings. And maybe you actually, when you learn new financial structures, you can actually teach that to people that you love, the people that you know. They can pour value into that, right? So for Taurus, it's all about money matters and situating yourself for the next 7 years. And again, learning new skills and techniques about money could can really enhance how you see yourself, right? Give yourself a whole new I'm seeing for some of us that were born into poverty consciousness, you're breaking those poverty consciousness codes within you and are really allowing yourself to attract money in a whole new way. So it's allowing yourself to see that they're, again, working smarter, not harder. And also magnetism too, because, you're earth and yin, which is feminine. So learning the magnetic aspect of manifestation, right? Really just being the abundance, right? First house matters. I am the abundance, and then teaching your mind how to see yourself as abundant already before you maybe start seeing it. And so this is just a practice. And again, Gemini likes to learn. So learning new financial structures and how to play with money in a new way would be really beneficial. And let's pull a card for you now, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What does the Taurus, my brothers and sister, my beautiful Taurian folks, need to know with this transit of Uranus and Gemini? Okay, this just popped out really quickly. This is the North Node, or I'm sorry, the South Node in Pluto, Palo Santo 55 Guardian. So Palo Santo, you can also see too, this is a wisdom keeper. It's working with the guardians. It's being very grounded. Guardians meaning, because that's what it says, guardian there, working with the ancestors. Again, being able to shift your ancestral inheritance is what I heard. For those of you that maybe inherited a poverty mindset or didn't know how to handle money, maybe you were intimidated. You were scared to handle money because you just didn't want the responsibility of it, is what I'm hearing. So we can see that the South Node is skill sets that you already have mastered. Pluto is transforming. So South Node is, again, old karma. So clearing up old karmic codes. Again, if you have any poverty consciousness in your ancestry, or lack mentality, you're going to be able to shift that. And Palo Santo, the use of Palo Santo can really help you with that, get you in the body. It's a very grounding smell. It's a very earthy, and again, it's also connecting you to your spiritual um, nature, right? Your ancestors, because it was also aspecting where it's going to be. The quadrant is the 12th, the first, and the second house for you, Taurus. So tuning into your ancestors, and again, you can be hearing generational, you can be clearing generational karma 7 generations forward, 7 generations back. Again, we're in that 7 time period because Uranus will be in Gemini for 7 years. So that's a potent number. 7 has to do with Neptune, which is our spirituality. And 12th house is our past, our karma. And so changing karmic patterns within your family lineage by learning how to work with money in a new way, by learning to value yourself in a new way, see yourself in a new way. This is the potential for you, Taurus, and I hope this brings you value and service and so much love sending to you as you're shape shifting your karma and your family genome with that. And I send you so much love and support. So, okay, let's go ahead and go to the next sign now. Again, we're going to be sharing the astrology, and let's see if we can move now to Gemini, which will be on the sun, moon, rising, ascendant. So this is going to be for my fellow Geminis, and hopefully I can get to this. Let's see if it does it here. Calculate. There we go. Gemini and the ascendant, sun, moon, rising. So Uranus is going to be aspecting your first house. It could be the quadrant also too of the 12th first. Actually, the 11th to 12th in the first house would be the quadrant for you, Gemini. So 11th house is about groups, organizations. It's ruled by Uranus, which is going to be, trining your energy. And so you can see that it's going to be shifting the way you see yourself, literally. Uranus might bring flashes of insight on how you've been not only perceiving yourself, but how you've been carrying yourself in the world, Gemini. Gemini, we know it's all about for you working with duality and polarity. It's, this or that. But you're really starting to resolve to see, maybe I'm all of it. Maybe I'm this and that. Maybe it's not so much polarized as much as I thought. It's about delineating and recognizing that you are all of it. And so there might be a duality, a dual nature, because Gemini has to do with duality. So being really able to accept that dual nature that you have within you, to accept yourself unconditionally, to love yourself, and to see where perhaps if you've been out of balance at all within 12th house matters, unconscious, and the 11th house, friend groups, organizations, this is going to be really the focus for you to, because again, this energy is sextiling Saturn and Neptune. You might be asked to step up into your friend group and teach what you know, because Uranus is about advanced thinking. It's higher mind thinking. So you might be experiencing these flashes of deep insight about duality, about polarity, about working with the other. Because Gemini, has to do with two, right? Everything two on the body is Gemini. So two eyes, two arms, two lungs has to do with the breath. So you might be really wanting to focus in on breathing techniques and exercises, and working within groups and communities, really expanding your group network, your group friendships, could be really valuable to you. I'm seeing too, friends are like your family. And also too, you can be doing work together, working with how to clear subconscious programming, right? And you can teach each other. You guys can be, I'm hearing too, like accountability partners, right? As you're learning to shapeshift and step into your higher wisdom, and really be the teacher, teaching yourself while simultaneously teaching others. And then you can be doing the deep work too, to teach, spiritual practices, how the mind really is connected to our spirituality, and what we think about and perceive is connected to, our vibration and our frequency. So this is also maybe you mastering your mind, and mastering your vibration, and just really resolving duality within you and seeing yourself in a new way, in a more empowered way. Again, Uranus is about groups, organizations, it's change, it's forward thinking. Some of you might be really driven to work with technology in a new way, because that's also what Aquarius rules, and Uranus. It's about, maybe AI. You might be starting an AI business, or be working with an app. Some of you might be, it's not for everybody, might be creating apps, learning how to synthesize and process information, and then share it with what groups, organizations. So you might be really stepping into a leadership role as this is the next 7 years. And again, not just for you, Gemini, but for all the signs, really sit and contemplate where you imagine yourself being in the next 7 years, and do a meditation and focus on that, guys, because that's what's going to help you, again, project your reality, but also be willing to drop what you think you know to make room for the new. And so this is also what Uranus can be bringing in, again, flashes of insight through you. You might be the channel. I just heard Nostradamus come through. So you actually might be writing some stuff, Gemini, down as you start exploring more of the deep spiritual nature, 12th house, and sharing it within your groups and organizations. You might be the channeler. And again, I'm seeing also too, for you, light language might be invoked in during this time, or some form of spiritual practice where you really master it, and then you share it. These flashes of insights that you get while in meditation, or while going to a Tai Chi class, or maybe even expanding to going on retreats, right? Because again, this is 11th house matters. And so really focusing on about what you want, hopes, dreams, and wishes, what you want to create, what is coming through you, and just allow yourself to be the divine channel. The first house is the I am. So I am the divine channel. I am what I think. So again, for you in particular, Gemini, it's learning to master your mind and then sharing that information to your friendship groups, really doing the deep dive with what's going on in the subconscious realms. You can help people see themselves in a whole new way. And so that's a really powerful configuration for you, Gemini. This is a very potent 7-year cycle for you. Again, Uranus is going to be coming in and asking, what needs to shift, what new inventions. Even there's some of you might even be inventing things, right, Gemini? So there's just so many opportunities. You're so dexterous. Again, you rule everything too on the body. So working with your hands, I'm even seeing for some of you too, because you need to be grounded during this time period, because again, you're getting so much information. Not for everybody, but some of you might be starting woodworking or working with the hands in a new way. That just came in. Either that, or I'm hearing for some of you too might be becoming a surgeon, or doing something in the healthcare field. Anyway, this is just what I'm picking up on in the field right now. So I'm going to pull a card now for Gemini. One card, please. That just popped out. Which one wants to come out? Okay, actually 2 came out. Oh, well, you know what? You're Gemini, you're 2. Why not? We're going to pull. Oh, no, there's 3 cards here for you. All right, Gemini. Well, I guess you're getting 3 cards. You're getting psilocybin, commune, which is also about communities. We talked about the 11th house here. You can see this is also playing. This is Pluto and the sun. So being the transformer, shining your light on transforming your community and your groups. Again, psilocybin is about getting into different states of consciousness. So I'm not saying you have to use this medicine, but I am saying that this medicine is there for you, the consciousness of psilocybin, perhaps to get you into more of a communal state with your friendship groups, with that which is unseen in the hidden realms. The next card that came out is Go to Cola, Higher Consciousness, number 8. So you can see here, and that was number 49, which goes back to being the 4. So here we go, foundation, because 4 and 8, right? Again, I break down the numbers. And that's how I'm getting to the numerology of it. And so this here is, again, higher consciousness. So that's that 12th house matter. You can see that Mercury and the moon, you might be getting some deep psychic insights coming in, especially with your mind, right? And if you stay with your spiritual practices, and again, you can see this person's in meditation, grounded, that, yeah, there's a higher consciousness coming through you, which is also very Uranus, the higher mind of your ruling planet, which is Mercury. So very mercurial. We're really working with the mind, but also integrating it with the spirit and seeing yourself and your spirit and integrating these energies in a whole new way through your meditation practices. And again, the 8 is about infinity. So 4 and the 8, these are foundational numbers, right? These are infinite. What I'm hearing is infinite possibilities can come through you, but be grounded and really know what you want, Gemini. Really get clear and focus. What would you like to experience? And which is interesting too. So I'm also seeing this also looks like the Gemini symbol, right? It's the 11, right? It's also duality. This also is relationship. This is called beloved. So you might be calling in partnership. See there, you've got Venus, you've got Pluto, transformative partnership. So whether it's through your relationship groups, your friendship groups, or divine partnership, romantic groups, you're going to be changed and transformed by your partnerships and relationships over this next 7-year period. So get really focused in on what you want. Again, develop your spiritual practice and really embody that sense of knowing, because you are the divine channel, and what you transmit to people is going to be very valuable and very transformative for other people as well. So, okay, so we are at the 112 minute mark. Okay, you guys still with me here? We're about halfway there. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to take a sip of my tea, and we're going to keep going and transmitting. And we're going to be going now to, excuse me, what's after Gemini? Cancer. So we're going to put Cancer on the ascendant here. How are you guys doing, guys? How's everybody feeling while we're out here? There we go. Gemini, Cancer. All right, let's see if we can get to Cancer. Edit chart. Let's go now to 3, 4, 5. Change to 5 o'clock. And we're going to calculate. Okay, here we go. Now we're in flow. Cancer on the ascendant. Sun, Moon, rising, and Venus. So you can see too right now, guys, that for you, Cancer, Uranus is going to be, again, semi-squaring your energy. So again, first, 12th, or for you, Cancer, I'm seeing it 12th, 11th, and 10th house matters, the quadrant that Uranus can really be coming in and affecting for you. So 12th house, we know, talked about, it's a Pisces house, subconscious, 11th house, group organization house, but also where it might be affecting too for you, Cancer, your 10th house of career. So, getting very clear, Cancer, while Jupiter's in Cancer at the beginning of this ingress of Uranus into Gemini, it's about family matters. And so you're going to really be focused on your family and career, 10th house, which is also ruled by Capricorn. So you might, Cancer, really be invited into, study. Even some of you, if you're looking into getting into meditative practices like yoga or some sort of body work or breath work, again, because Gemini rules the lungs. For you, it's about feeling good in your body. You need to feel the need to be nurtured, to be supported. You're really asking too, that support can come from financial support. So looking at maybe new career matters, new ways to generate income with things that you really love, because Aries is about passion and Gemini wants to learn. So maybe taking that yoga certification class, or maybe taking those meditation classes, and then learning to share your gifts and to nurture the beings and the people around you will bring you a lot of value and a lot of love. And again, activate the mind to stimulate, to see, your family dynamics in a new way. Perhaps, I'm even seeing too, things you learned within the family you're going to be relearning. So, for example, um, and this is also too, I'm seeing gardening and flowers for some of you working with herbology. What are your natural inclinations, Cancer? If you're really looking for purpose, some of you that might be connecting to this channel has really been asking, what's my purpose? Well, your purpose is to be nurtured and to be the nurturer, right? That's one of your purposes, because Cancer is about the cosmic mother. It's about bringing in the magnetic aspects of us, the mothering aspect, which is about unconditional love, right? And so the 10th house, you really got to love what you do to bring a lot of financial support from it, right? This is another form of security. So if you can get really focused, Uranus might be bringing some skills that you've had from 12th house. You might be inherited some gifts from your ancestors that you didn't realize you had because it's been lingering in the unconscious realm, right? So Uranus can come in and really activate that for you and say, hey, by the way, you have these treasured gifts within you that are being reactivated through your genome right now. So keep feeling your way through what brings you joy, what brings you comfort, what brings you nurturance, and how can you share that with those that you love and perhaps create a career out of it, right? So for you, Cancer, it's going to be activating really your internal gifts and inherited gifts from the ancestors. So, for example, say your grandmother was a great sewer, right? And you really like to learn to sew, but you just never took the time, or just opportunity didn't present itself. So you might say, you know what? I want to go and I want to learn sewing, because that's what grandma or great grandma used to do. And she was really good at it. And I remember how I felt sitting around the sewing circle watching her sew. And that feels really good. So I want to learn that skill. And because again, Gemini likes education. So this might be, tuning into lost gifts that just need to be remembered, and maybe taking a class or just self-teaching too. 12th house likes to be like, think like the hermit. So you might be self-education through things that, again, ancestral gifts that you've either forgot about or that are coming back online for you, that you can be sharing and then making a career out of it, right? You decide to create something artistic, and all of a sudden somebody's like, wow, that's really great, how did you do that? Right? And so, and because you love to nurture, I'm seeing some of you too, this might be even cooking, learning how to cook, or learning even to heal, because there's also can be some healing techniques that are coming online for those of you that maybe are looking into going into Reiki or some other form of energy work. This might be really significant because you might, again, be able to make a career out of it. And for some of you might even want to create a wellness center, or to build something that's going to help people support, again, their unconscious or subconscious nature, and get them into their bodies and their spiritual practices in a new way. So this is for you, Cancer, that wanted to come through. And we're going to go ahead and pull a card for all of my Cancer folks, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you need to know, my beautiful Cancers, with this transiting Uranus into Gemini? What does this aspect, what is it sharing with you? Okay, so the herb that came through is skullcap. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm just an energy reader. I'm not an herbologist. I'm not a doctor, but these are just recommendations for these tarot decks that just, for added support. For if you want to use these herbs, you can. Again, there's just signifiers of how to be better to navigate, to work with these energies and with a little more grace and ease. And so skull cap, stillness, is coming in, and that's number 47. And that's also an 11. So again, there's that duality. That's a power number, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's 11. So you want to break that down. That's mastery. So again, Scorpio has to do with death, transformation. It rules the eighth house, and it's a Pluto house. Pluto, and it looks like, what's the other one? Saturn, right? So structure. It's skull cap. I'm even seeing too. You can see where there's new ways that you're going to be seeing, because this, you can see here, it almost looks like the mind is split in two, but there's growth. There's plants coming out of it. This skull cap is like, again, that emergence of the 12th house. You might be remembering or being activated by your ancestors, gifts that they have that you've inherited that you just forgot about, right? So this is where I just heard soul retrieval for some of you, going back and retrieving parts of your soul fractured, that maybe something that happened, within the family, early in life, created some sort of fractalization within the mind, with your perception, how you perceive yourself and your family. So this can be a really healing time for you right now, Cancer, especially if you learn to nurture and love yourself. And again, get activated with these gifts, because that's going to transform you, transform how you see your reality, and transform, again, genetics, your ancestral lineage, 7 generations forward, 7 generations back. Anywhere you've been capped on your skull, using this herb, where you've been, I'm hearing, repressed in your mind by your thoughts, how you been perceiving yourself, like lack of self-love or lack of self-nurturance, whatever needs to be healed for you. It's going to be, the next 7 years is going to be very pivotal, because you can change your whole ancestral lineage by doing the work on yourself. Again, you can change your relationship with your mom and dad, going in and doing, again, past life regression, because 12th house matters, has to do with past life issues. So if you're wanting to tap into, saying, I know I have gifts within me, but I don't know how to tap into it. So this might be the time to do some past life therapy, or some regression therapy, or some QHHT, right? Quantum healing uh, techniques. Dolores Cannon, you might want to look at her work, because she talks a lot about that. So that's for you, Cancer. Just sort of an intuitive read of what could be happening for you for the next 7-year transit, while Uranus is ingressing into Gemini, and how could that be aspecting you. So let's keep going now. We're going to be moving along to the next sign, which we know will be Leo. So we're moving right along here, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys are still here, thank you. You guys are champs. 5, 6, 7. All right. So we're going into Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Ascendant, or yeah, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Where is this that's going to be aspecting you, Leo? Well, this is going to be, again, sextiling your energy. So this is going to be the quadrant that it's going to be really impacting you, is going to be the 11th, 10th, and perhaps 9th house, right? So 9th house is about your beliefs. 10th house is career. 11th house, groups, organizations. So for you, Leo, you like to be the leader. Leos are fire signs. They are fire fixed signs. And you like to lead through the heart, through what you are impassioned by. So this is really for the next 7-year cycle. It's going to be asking you to evaluate what your beliefs, because it's 9th house, about your career and about your friendship groups. So, are you really happy with what you're doing right now, Leo? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel impassioned? 9th house also has to do with media, right? It has to do with uh, religion, organized religion. It has to do with the law, right? So are you maybe, and it's going to be training your energy. So with Aries, but it's also going to be sextiling your energy with this Gemini flow. So thoughts about law, your beliefs, religion, how you're perceiving your reality. This is an invitation too to, 11th house is about groups, organizations. Are you looking to lead, perhaps become the teacher or teach something within your organizations that has to do with law? Matters also too. We look at, we said ninth house is a Sagittarius house, so has to do with publishing and media, right? Are you looking to write a book? Are you looking to create something through you, by you, for you, that's going to inspire your group, uh, your groups and organizations? Are you going to get them to believe and see things in a new way? Perception, right? By standing into your power, Leo, this is the time for you to really be ignited about what you love and reevaluate, what do you believe? What are your beliefs about, religion, spirituality, and also, your career house? For some of you, you may be looking to say, okay, I've worked at this job for however many years, and I'm ready to do something different. And I want to change up how I earn my money. I want to change up my friendship groups. I want to change how I communicate, who I communicate to, how I communicate to myself, right? So it's really asking you to step in through what you're ignited by, Leo, and to create. And creativity is the name of the game, and creating in a new infrastructure. I'm hearing new infrastructure of the mind, new architecture of the mind, a new way of perceiving your reality, a new way of even perceiving your how you show up in the workforce, changing jobs, and maybe having to take a class. So this, for some of you, it might even be going back to school, higher education, learning something new, a new skill. Maybe you're already in your job, and you like what you do, but you're being asked to step into more of a leadership role. So you're being asked to get more education, or to learn something new within the field that you're already in. So again, this might not be for everybody, this is general reading, but this is just where the house system that you can be looking at, that it's going to be affecting or influencing the next 7 years of your life. So getting very clear, Leo, on how you want to feel, how who you want to be responsible for. 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, and the responsibility is about really to learning what you believe and how you are perceiving your reality. These are things that can be highlighted for you, Leo, as you're exploring this Uranus and Gemini, and again, bringing you perhaps new friendship groups. Stepping out of your comfort zone and maybe taking, say, a cycling class, or I know pickleball is a big thing right now. People are playing. So for you, Leo, it's about playing. It's about having fun, being playful. Again, joining new groups, organizations, and following your passion, really questioning your beliefs and stepping into, do I believe that? I believe that for so long, and this is how I used to see my reality. But because things are shape-shifting so quickly, it's also an evaluation time, is do I still want to continue being with that group and in that job, and believing that certain way, that believing that certain religion. And so, okay, for you, you didn't have to ask, it came right out. So this also too, you don't have to be asked to be told to do something. You're just going to initiate and take action on it, right, Leo? That you're being given a lot of momentum, and again, air is sextiling your fire. So let your mind ignite you, let your thoughts and your idea and your creativity ignite how you take action, because this just came right out. And again, 48, here's the number, kava kava, community. So this is really starting about new community groups, exploring new ways to be in community. For some of you, this might actually be living in community, right? And or showing up and teaching something. Again, you like to lead, so you might be called to be a leader within your community. I see the butterfly here, transformation. It has to do with Pluto and the moon. So the moon is our emotional body, really feeling the need to create kava kava. It's double, right? The ka. So the ka is the spirit and the ba is the body, if you study Egyptian cosmology. So kava kava, community is going to be really emphasized right now, how you can step up and have more fun and play in community. And perhaps you might be invited to be the leader within your community. But things are going to be shape-shifting on how you perceive your reality, again, within the job, within your groups, organizations, and your beliefs is going to be highlighted for you, Leo. So let's go ahead and screen share and let's go on to the next sign. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's still enjoying this flow. I am. It's fun to be able to do this. It takes a lot of energy, but I enjoy it. It's the great work. And, staying in channel mode just allows spirit to come through and really just, again, this is the information. My brain is just a radio receiver. These are just the images and the frequencies that I'm receiving per each sign. So thank you so much for being here. Now, this is for my Virgo brothers and sisters, my beautiful Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. With you, you can see that you're gonna this energy here is gonna be squaring your energy. So Uranus and Gemini is gonna be squaring you, Virgo, and squares are not bad. Squares just mean things need to change, right? So with the square happening with you, your ruling planet is Mercury, and Mercury rules Gemini, and the next higher octave of Mercury is Uranus. So you might be called to really level up into your career house again, because the quadrant that this is going to be aspecting is your 10th, ninth, and 8th houses. So for the next 7 years, this Uranus transit is going to be transiting this quadrant of your house system. So again, 10th house is career, ninth house is beliefs, higher education, and 8th house is the sex, death, and taxes. It's in our inheritances, is our family. It's the occult house, things that are hidden. It's ruled by Scorpio. And so you are going to be really invited, especially with the square energy, to shape shift something in how you perceive yourself in relation to, I'm hearing deep alchemic work, right? I'm even saying too, like the Hermit card. This might be for you, Virgo, going in and doing the deep dive to re-alchemize how you think about how you want to be of service. Because, you rule the sixth house, which is work and service to others. And you can see during this transit that Pluto is going to be transiting this time. So Pluto's the transformer. You might be transforming your job. This is like a whole new career. So maybe I'm seeing for some of you, like, if you were in nursing and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, you know what? This is aha, Uranus. Like, I want to be an actor, right? I want to do something completely different. I want to have more fun. Eighth house is transforming anywhere, again, the heart of the child, maybe where you felt heavy in your responsibility. Is sometimes a Virgo, the sixth house, it can be a heavier house because it's where we have to be of service. So for this next 7 year period, what I'm seeing for you too, Virgo, it's like, what do you get to do, not what you have to do? Because you love to be of service. That's actually probably for most Virgos here, it's your number one love language, right? Is work and service to others. And so you want to really love what you do. You want to be of service, but you also want to have more fun. You want to be more spontaneous. You want to learn something new. And it might be a whole new job, a whole new skill set. So, we can reincarnate many lifetimes in one life. So, like I said, if perhaps say you were a teacher for 20 years and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I want to be an artist. Being willing to use that mercurial mind, because you are very smart, Virgo, and you know how to ground in the energy and be pragmatic, again, working with the hands. So say, for example, you're an accountant and then one day you're like, I want to, move to the woods and become a woodworker. This would be the 7 year time period for you to make dramatic shifts in your work and service, in your career house, how you believe you want your life to look. And again, eighth house is your transformer house and the occult house. So you might be really wanting to work with occult practices, and occult just means hidden, right? So maybe working with more, I'm seeing too, maybe learning astrology might be activating for some of you because it has to do with things that are more metaphysical, right? This is Scorpio house, so you like to work with psychology. You might have been a teacher and you're like, I want to be a psychologist because I really love psychology. I really love that great work. Again, it's about being of service, but really finding what you love, you want to do, and again, I'm hearing for some of you, again, ending obligation energy. It's not, I have to do this, but I get to do this. And then waking up every day with this vibe, this vigor, this passion, because you're just literally, flipping the script and changing and learning a whole new skill. So Virgo, this could be a very potent next 7 year period for you, especially if you're looking to make some major life changes, right? So let's go ahead and pull a card for all my Virgo brothers and sisters, my beautiful Virgos. What do you need to know? What card can support you? Valerian, this is number 44, acceptance. Yeah, can you accept yourself? Can you accept that you are the transformer? Because, you know, I'm looking at this, is also looks very much Uranus. It looks like mycelium. The ground is up above, and and it's ruled by Neptune, right? So Neptune is also your spiritual house. It rules the 12th house matters. It's Pisces house. So you might really want to be stepping into your spiritual purpose. If you've just been, say, in the last job for the last 20 years, it's been more mundane. Like if you were an accountant or a teacher, and I'm not saying that any of that's bad, that they're all great career choices, but you might be stepping into something that's more spiritually based, right? Because you're rising above the ground. You're starting to elevate your consciousness. So getting into some more meditative practices, learning to manage the mind, because again, your sign is ruled by Mercury. So learning to set up healthy boundaries within yourself. And Valerian is learning to calm the nervous system, because for the next 7 year period, you especially, because you're mercurial ruled, um, you really want to learn to go into no mind, is what I'm hearing, because you're so mind focused and you're in your mind quite a bit. Learning some techniques and practices on how to be out of the mind and be more into the body, be more into the now, have more fun. I see also too, like the mouse energy, be more playful, more curious, right? Um, Again, going out in nature more, and I'm seeing too, maybe meditating in nature more can get you very clear and grounded as to what you want to do and how you want to be of service for the next 7 years, especially if you're looking for a major career change or a major life change, right? So but definitely incorporate your spirituality into that, because that's going to help you manage your mind and to be in your body in a grounded and harmonious way, because you can be have a lot of mind chatter, Virgo. And yeah, I feel complete in that transmissions for you, Virgo. So thank you so much for receiving that. So let's keep on going here. We're going to screen share and go back to, now we're moving on to Libra. So moving into my Libra brothers and sisters, thank you so much for being here. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for Libra. Let's see what we got going here. So 9, 10, 11. Let's hopefully we'll go to Libra. There we go. Libra on the Ascendant. Again, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And how this is going to be aspecting, it's going to be showing up for you in the quadrant of your ninth, eighth, and seventh houses. So you can see Libra, it's all about relationships. Again, Scorpio house, transformation, ninth house, belief. So for the next 7 years, you're going to be activated in this quadrant of the chart. Relationships, I'm even seeing two, metaphysics, learning to be in your metaphysical nature, because you know Libra, you're an air sign, you're very much about the mind, and it's going to be training your energy, right? So you're going to be, again, just like with Gemini, going to be receiving downloads and terabytes of information, aha awareness moments that can really ignite you and help you see, you know, what do you believe to be true? Eighth house, are you inviting in maybe some mystical experiences? Because eighth house is ruled by Scorpio, which is a feeler house. And Aries right now is going to be on a seventh house of relationships. So you might be feeling in your way into new partnerships, into more passionate partnerships, because eighth house is all about passion and ninth house is about belief. So where do you need to change your mind, and where, or maybe you're changing your relationship patterns? I'm even seeing for some of you Libra, like your type, your relationship type is changing. So for example, if you may have been um, attracted to a certain type of being before in the past, and all of a sudden you're having this, you know, awareness like, that's no longer my type, I no longer want that, I actually want to try this type of relationship or this type of partnership, right? So for you Libra, it's going to really be the focus of this quadrant of the chart of relationships. Again, metaphysics, things that are hidden, things that are deeply spiritual. Scorpio are also things that are, I'm even seeing for you maybe some hidden money or some hidden inheritance, because eighth house has to do with inheritance issues. So Uranus can come in, especially when it's going to be transiting that eighth house matters. You might be surprised that all of a sudden, you know, somebody transitions and left you a bunch of money, and you didn't even know that person, you were related to that person, right? So be on the lookout too. Uranus is going to bring in unexpected changes and awarenesses, relationship patterns. new thought forms about, your value, your worth, your partnership patterns. This is also to eighth house. You might want to, if you had anything, because it also rules sex, death, and taxes. So if you have any sexual um, energies that need to be transformed, again, because Aries is all about the child, early childhood. So if you and you still have Chiron there. So if you've had any wounds in childhood that you're ready to clear up, you're ready to heal, and especially in relation to sexuality, maybe that's why Uranus is coming in and saying, hey, your relationship type is changing, what you're attracted to is changing. This might really set kind of, I'm hearing for you, Libra, like happily surprise you. Right, you're like, that's my type, and I would have never been drawn to that type of person before, but all of a sudden you're like, I can't get enough of that person, right? So because you're doing the inner work to alchemize and to heal yourself. And again, this is wounds from the childhood that you're really ready to face and to put in front of you so you can have a different experience and a different reality. Again, Uranus wants to come in and change, your relationship patterns and how you relate to other people, and primarily how you relate to yourself, how you see yourself. So allow that space to really be attracted to the new, the different, the unusual, because it's going to bring a lot of healing for you. And you're inviting in different types of partnership, especially with Saturn and Neptune there. It's going to be really inviting in spiritual partnerships and possibly long-term committed partnerships, and Saturn is going to be opposing you, which oppositions are just opportunities to really, if you've been like the runaway bride and you've been avoiding a relationship or partnership, because Libra is all about relationship and partnership. So if somehow there's been a dissonance there, then this is an opportunity to heal, especially if there's been any sexual trauma in early childhood that you're ready to deal with and resolve. And I know that's a bit of a heavier energy for you, Libra, but that's just what I wanted to come through in this transmission. So I'm sending you so much love. And I'm let's pull a card for you, Libra, to see maybe what herb or a different perspective can help support you during this transformative time as you are starting to see yourself in a new way, have different experiences, and willing to let some of these relationship patterns go. And I'm seeing here too, okay, so the Sage came up, number 6, blessing. And 6 is the ruling sign of Venus, which is your ruling planet. It has to do with the moon and Jupiter. Moon is our emotion, Jupiter's expansion, and you can see here partnership, that they're learning to work together. They're building a fire together. And one is, harvesting the fire. It's being like the fire tender, and the other is invoking in spirit. So these are both aspects of you because, for you, Libra, you also rule duality. It's partnership. And so inviting in different types of partnership that are, and again, I'm seeing too, there's that moon. I'm seeing too, for those of you who've ever seen the movie Practical Magic, it's like calling in your partner. Like, I want somebody with one green eye and one blue eye, right? And Uranus is going to come in and be like, okay, I want to bring in this divine partnership, but it may not look how you think. So perhaps working with the medicine of sage, and this is blessing. Whoever you're inviting in, this new partnership dynamic, this new attraction point that you're bringing in is a blessing to you. It's going to ignite you. It's going to help you connect to more of your spiritual nature. And again, I'm hearing divine partnership for, and if some of you use the terminology twin flame, that might be something that you invoke in. You're ready to meet your twin flame energy, right? But it's going to be sacred. It's got, again, unique, different, something that you were normally not attracted to, might really surprise you and who you're bringing in. And I feel like it's not just you, it's spirit bringing this partnership in. So being willing to do something different, and to sit also too with self and meditation, and maybe working with fire, going out in nature, grounding, doing some more camping is what I'm seeing too for some of you, because you're very mind oriented. It's about getting more into the body, right? It's that correspondence, that balancing act, Libra, because for you it's all about the balance. You work really hard and you play really hard, so learn to keep that in balance, to keep it in check, because again, you're inviting in a different type of partnership, which will therefore allow you to see yourself in a different way, if that makes any sense. So Okay, so let's continue on. Let's keep screen sharing here. And again, if you guys are still here, thank you so much for being here. This is a beautiful transmission with Uranus and Gemini still traversing through the planes here, 11, 12, 1. So let's see if we can do this here. If it goes into, no, let's see, I got to go PM. This is where it got me last time. Working with AM and PM frequencies. Let's do this. That's Libra. We got to get Scorpio on the ascendant here. Come on, Scorpio. All right. Let's see. Let's do 2 p.m. Let's see if we can get Scorpio on the ascendant. Come on, Scorpio. There we go. All right, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. For you, this transiting Uranus and Gemini is going to be in the quadrant of your 8th, 7th, and 6th houses. So, 8th house we talked about is a Scorpio house. It is your house. There is a deeply transformative energy that is happening for you within not only your internal psyche, your internal deep psychic awareness, but also within your partnerships and your work and service to others, 6th house. So your daily routines, which signifies 6th house, you might be switching things up in a completely different way. Scorpio, for you, again, you are the transformer, and Uranus is going to be bringing in higher mind ideals. And I'm even seeing too high magic for you because you are the alchemist, you are the transformer. And so you might be initiating into another octave because a lot of Scorpios already do the deep dive. They already do the deep psychological work on themselves and others. They can't help it because that's just their nature. But you might be inspired to really go even further and beyond. And I'm even saying for you, again, maybe even channeling some galactic energies, whatever. If the, again, this may not resonate for everybody, but again, is along that caliber of I'm even seeing for some of you too, inventing some things, right? Because it rules technology, and you might, the difference between science and magic is knowledge, is the way energy works, because there's laws in the universe, and it appears to be magical or chaotic if we don't understand the laws. And so I'm seeing for you, Scorpio, going into different realms of consciousness through either deep meditation practices, being initiated into, I'm even seeing like drum circles, or going into like Native American ceremonies, like really getting ceremonial with the energy, with the information that's coming through, because you're going to be really impacting those that you are in partnership and relationship with, and how you show up in service every day for those that you are in service for, right? So you might be really seen as like the spiritual leader, right? Bringing in a lot of higher knowledge, ancestral wisdom, deep occult knowledge that maybe has never been seen or heard before, a new periphery on how you do ceremony, on how you do ritual. You might be even calibrated with I'm seeing even new symbols, right? There might be even new discoveries of symbols of astrology if you study astrology or cosmology or whatever it is, whatever deep occult practices you've been working with. You're being initiated into the next octave realm of that frequency, right? Of that higher mind. So, and you're going to be transforming your relationship, 7th house. And, be willing also too, 6th house matters, to make sure you're taking, you're being impassioned. Aries likes to take action, and perhaps again, setting some structure, Saturn, Neptune, making sure your foundation is your spiritual practices so that you can receive these higher mind, initiations, or occult deep wisdom from the ancestors. So stay in your practices, stay in your structured patterns, allow yourself to really receive the energy on the daily, and then transmit that to your friends and family and your network, because you're going to be seen as very much a spiritual leader during this time. I believe, I'm not sure if Gandhi was a Scorpio. I don't know why Gandhi's coming in, but again, just the next high of octave of a spiritual leadership is coming through. And just, be grounded with it. Stay in your practice and set those boundaries. Scorpio, you have no problem setting boundaries, but that just, for some of you that wanted to come through, to be really aware, to set, because you're being, again, initiated into a whole nother dimension, really, and catapulted for the next 7 years into the way you're seen and perceived by your relationships and people around you. So let's pull a card too for my beautiful Scorpios. What do you need to know for this? Which herb can support you? Here it comes. Okay, so the mushroom reishi, retreat. It even looks like a heart here too. There's Jupiter and the sun. So again, retreating into yourself. That's why I was seeing the Hermit card too. And the 27 is a 9, which I believe 9 rules the Hermit card in the Tarot. So it's about you going in regularly to access your ancestors and in your own deep inner wisdom and knowledge by making that the practice to be in meditation, to go in into retreat mode so that you can access these again, initiatory energies that of our higher mind that might be even extraterrestrial, that are deeply shamanistic even, right? So working with certain herbs like reishi or mushrooms like reishi can help you stay in your heart, but also help you be very clear on the energy that you're transmitting, because you're a powerful transformer. So you got to go in and make sure that you're um, not picking on so many other people's energies, not being distracted, because again, that quadrant is going to be affecting your seventh house. So I'm hearing know thyself, know what you know, and don't get too distracted with it. Again, go in and make that the practice to step into your knowing and then transmit that, because you're going to be seen in a whole new higher octave way by your community. And it might surprise you some of the downloads and the knowledge you receive that's going to be like, what? It's going to really shade shift the consciousness of the beings around you. So, okay, so now we are going to our final sign here. Save the best for last. Just kidding. I love everybody. But we're going into Sagittarius rising. So for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, Sag, let's see how Uranus is going to be affecting you, where it's going to be. So, we know that Gemini is opposite your sign. So again, the quadrant that you're really going to be aspecting, or it's going to be feeling for, is going to be the seventh, the sixth, and the fifth house. So again, fifth house is creativity, it's the heart of the child. Sixth house, work and service to others. Seventh house, relationships. Sagittarius, it's about expanding your relationships. It's about bringing in new types of partnerships, unique beings that maybe, unique community groups. I'm seeing too, maybe doing more traveling, having more fun. Sixth house matters is also going to be shifting up the routine. So for you, it's actually about making sure that you're not so grounded. Your grounding is in changing up the routine daily, right? Because you're being asked to really be um, inspired by your creativity. Aries is again cardinal fire, and it's going to be trining your energy with Neptune and Saturn there. It's like, I want to have fun. I want, fifth house matters, has to do with speculation, has to do with gambling. It has to do with first dates and, divine partnerships. But like, where seventh house is more about long-term partnerships, fifth house is more about, just starting to date somebody, right? So it's kind of like, again, having more fun, more play, and expansion through your creativity, expansion through doing things different on the daily, expansion on meeting different groups of people and having different connection points within your community, because you're really going to be influenced. Jupiter is expanding you, and the expansion point is going to be in how much fun you can have, how much you can learn, how much you can share your wisdom. Again, Gemini loves to learn, but how do we apply that learning into knowledge? You're going to be seen as like the wisdom keeper and shower, and again, the wanderer. Not all who wander are lost, but it is about inviting in more fun and seeing partnerships in a divine way. Seeing, again, the mirror. Gemini is all about the other and polarity, and that who you are attracting into your field is another aspect of you. So to treat them kindly, perhaps, lessen up on the judgment, because, Jupiter and its disagreeable aspect can be very judgmental, especially within partnerships and what they're perceiving other people to do, right or wrong, good or bad. So really, if you can, Uranus is going to come in and help you see your divine partnerships in a new way, that they are you. It's just a reflection of you. So the more you can be more gentle with yourself, you can be more gentle with other people, and make that the habit of removing the judgment, sixth house, make that the habit of learning to love unconditionally. And we do that by having more fun, by being in our body. And also, with Saturn and Neptune there, this also can be inviting in a new type of partnership that's for the long haul, right? Because you might be wanting long term committed partnership with somebody that you can really have fun with. Fifth house with your friend. Friends is also 11th house, and Uranus rules the 11th house. So, really attracting in a partner or groups of people that are really friend based, that are friendly, that you have a lot of commonality with, that you have. I'm seeing too, you want to create systems with, that you want to build infrastructure with other people, Uranus, and you want to do it in a fun way, in a playful way. And so you want to make that the routine, is how can you honor your relationships and your partnerships by seeing the best in them, by minimizing judgment as much as you can. And again, learning how to expand through being your authentic self, and being that gregarious, nature that you are, because you're going to be very influential within your partnerships, and people are going to be learning a lot from you. And you're always learning from other people, but especially with Gemini in your relationships, it's about learning, how to be in partnership in a different way, and how to see people in a different way, and perhaps removing some of the judgment of this is right and this is wrong, this is good and this is bad. If you can see that they are all you and they're just an aspect of you, if you can fold that judgment back in and say, okay, I accept myself, and therefore I can accept the other. This might be the invitation. Uranus is giving you that insight, the aha awareness, like, wow, I really am one with everything and everyone. So I need to treat everybody with a little more respect and a little less judgment, and a little more fun. Have more fun in your life, right? Like, just like Sagittarius have a problem having fun, but being responsible, right? I'm hearing like purposeful play, be in play mode, but also being on your purpose too, right? Because Saturn needs purpose, and Neptune is spirituality. It's your co-ruler of Jupiter. And so definitely having a spiritual bent in your creations. And finally, the card pull for Sagittarius, Uranus, and Gemini. What do you need to know? Okay, you got two cards. I was going to say one card, please, but two popped right out. Again, that's that Gemini duality. So the first card you got was 45 Mandrake, Neptune, and it's like Neptune and Venus. So yeah, Mandrake, there we go. It's stepping into your power. It's also being grounded. Mandrake is also 9, 4, and 5. And sensuality, learning to see yourself as your sensual nature. Again, not judging yourself so harshly. For some of you, Sagittarius might not be for everybody, but you may need to really love yourself unconditionally and not be so judgmental, and learn to be in your body in a new way. Because there's a lot of creativity here too. You can see Neptune's bringing in, again, I'm seeing like golden towers. There's a lot of abundance coming in, the seeds. You are the abundance. You do carry the codes of abundance around you. So, integrating all this knowledge and information you're gathering from your friendship groups and from people around you, and turning it into wisdom. They're seeing you as like the wisdom keeper, almost like the ancient elder, the tree that holds everything together, especially if you're looking for more communities. And sensuality means, being okay to be in your body, loving your body unconditionally, and allowing yourself to feel your way through. Because sometimes Sagittarius is full of fire and just likes to move through stuff. But can you feel what wants to be created before you think and just take action, right? Be grounded with what wants to come through, especially when it comes to partnerships and your daily practices. And then initiation, 38 cacao. And it has to do with Uranus and also Venus. So Venus is coming in twice for you, which has to do with self-worth, value, love, and cacao medicine. Because again, there's the seed point and there's the heart. This, for me, cacao is a heart opener, keeping your heart open to new types of experiences, to new partnerships, to new ways of seeing your reality and others. I'm also seeing ancestral wisdom, right? Because you are the wisdom keeper. And so tuning into your ancestors, Uranus is going to be bringing in a new periphery of how you see relationship patterns, and how you're willing to grow from maybe dissolving judgments or the illusion of separation, because your ancestors have always been there guiding you. I'm even seeing it's like she's hidden, but she's speaking to you, right? And you're ready to fly. This might be traveling, right? Sagittarius, you don't need a card to tell me that, or a card to tell you that you're going to be traveling, because, they like to travel, to be colorful. I'm even seeing the mountains behind. So even going to tropical rainforest, being willing to follow your heart. Again, cacao medicine is about putting you in your heart. So if you can follow your heart and be impassioned and allow the ancestors to guide you, it's going to take you to the next octave of where you want to go and where you're going to feel inspired and empowered through your relationships and through your work and service to others, and just having more fun, fifth house. So, all right, guys, I am complete in this transmission. We have gone through all the signs and through the houses and have picked a card for each of you. And I thank you so much for being here. I know this was a longer transmission. I'm going to do some editing and do some time stamping. So if you miss the replay or you miss the live and you want to catch the replay, and just, I hope this serves you. I hope this brings you just a little different perspective on how this Uranian energy could be affecting you. Again, this is an intuitive and metaphysical transmission while having the basis of astrology as the foundation of where to point to, of where these energies can be affecting you. And if you liked any of this content, if you don't mind, liking, subscribing, sharing, it's really great for the channel, and it really helps us to grow, our community to grow. And again, just to bring in a new state of consciousness as we are all evolving, and Uranus is going to be shapeshifting all of us for the next 7 years. So I'm really curious if you found any value, if you want to put in the comments, did any of this resonate? I'd really appreciate it. I love reading your comments. I love this community that we're connecting, that we're building together. So thank you so much for being here for this transmission. I hope you found value, and I love you guys so much. And I will see you on the next astrological transmission, Lives in Astrology. Okay.